The thing that you have to practice for this one is this. Just make a big petal shape like so. Put the yellow as it's the background here. Even some orange if you want. And then with thick red paint, you need to try making these lines that don't spread. You have to make them continuous, because if it breaks, it will leave a dot like this. So you have to do these straight lines. Just to practice, you can do this before you start your flower. This is our reference for today. So as you can see, you'll start with yellow and then add orange and then go to reds for these veins. Let's see how it's done. I have my drawings ready. I have my palette. I have some tissues here. We'll start by adding yellow. I'm not prepping my paper with water. I'm just adding some water to yellow and treating that as my base layer. I can do this to my entire flower. I've not drawn 2 more leaves, but 2 more petals. But as you can see here, whatever we have, we paint it all yellow. And now you can see the amount of water that I have. It's not too much. If you see a puddle forming like this, you can dry your brush and pick it up like so. And now you see there's an even layer of water. Now you can start adding your oranges. So we'll take an orange. If you don't have an orange, just mix red with yellow and you'll get an orange. Now spread it a little bit. We need a very less amount of orange, so we can reduce the pigment and just go and make it smooth here. You can even bring it a little bit into this circle and spread it out and smooth it, make it smooth. Now in the next one as well, with some water, let's add orange and let it spread. You have to have yellow here, so it shouldn't run everywhere, but a little bit of orange is good. This is your first step. Now you can wait for it to dry a little. Like this one has dried more. It's not completely dry, but it's a little dry. Now you can add thick orange in your brush, and then you can paint your veins. And as you can see, they'll be going down into the yellow part. Again, take thick pigment and reinforce the line if it was not clear, like mine, and then paint more veins. Some will run into this tubular thing, others will not, and you can keep going with it. there are places where it's darker, so you can even spread it like here a little bit. Spreading more on the side because it's darker. I think I covered it more, so I'm lifting a little from here. And now you don't have to follow this exactly step by step. You can paint as you see in your reference image. I'm just showing you how I do it and how I correct my mistakes if there are any. Now I need to go a little darker, so I'll add a warm red that is close to orange, like orangish red, and I'll reinforce my middle vein very gently. So this is mostly your practice for today, that you're able to make the veins, and the veins, they should stay in place and not run. Okay, and if you see there is an accumulation like this happening here, and because you have to protect the yellow, you can also go back and lift a little bit of everything here, and then just with the red, whatever you see going down, you can paint it back. Just observe. As you've already done the other exercises, I'm giving you this work so that you can work on your water control. Now you see this one has also dried mostly, so you can add more red and orange to it. As I'm seeing here, it's very dark, so start it that way. Otherwise you have to use the same technique in all the petals, so you don't have to worry about it. Like here also we'll do the same thing with red, just spread them around, create your wings. Anytime you see everything becoming too dark, you can go back, lift off your center of the flower, and you can add more yellow back into it, like so. You can even paint those veins that are going down later. So for example, I'm going to directly paint the rest of the petals here and here. So again, the same way, orange, and then this is the center of your flower. So we wait for it to absorb this water that is running a little bit, and then we'll go again and create our second layer with all the shadows and all the nice veins. In the meanwhile, if you have less water here, you can reinforce the veins that you've lost. very lightly. You can even do it with a small brush if you don't feel comfortable. And if something like this happens, like this thick vein happened by mistake, you can just with a clean brush lift it off and clean it, and then adjust the color a little bit, and that's all. You can go over this with water if you feel like, if you want it's too light. If you think it's too light, you can just put more water and the rest will spread. Here I'm creating a little bit of a dimension. Now I'll wait for it to dry and then I'll add my shadow areas. So now when you're done and this is dry, you're done with, you have to do all of the petals. I've just done a few to show you. Now this has lost all its lines, so we can re-wet it and then go in with thick red pigment and make those lines again. I think it's not thick enough for me. Like so. You don't have to do it exactly like you see in the picture, but almost, and it'll look just fine. You can go even darker by adding a cooler yellow like we did in the tomato, and you'll have these veins. It's the same for this one and all of these. So put a little bit of water. It doesn't need to be too much, just like you see here. And then take thick red paint and make the veins. And now, as I see a shadow on this side, I'll make this, and with a clean brush I'll soften this like so. Now we have the tubular thing that you see in the flower, and all the veins will go in here eventually. You can do this when it's dry with very light pigment, or when it's wet you can do the same and go like this. Not all the veins need to go like that, but a few main veins, whatever you can see in the reference picture, you can make them go down like this. There will be some lighter ones, so you can add a little orange in your red and then do them, or maybe some are just yellow and you can use that too. Now you can finish all the petals and you'll have your flower. So something to be mindful about, like this petal is overlapping this one, so this edge will be darker and you have to use whatever dark you have. I think it's too much water here, so I'll just put tissue on it. And you see, like this, I'll make it dark, and with a clean brush with just water in it, I'll reduce the amount of water and then I'll go around it to soften this edge. It will happen in all the petals, like here. I'll again do the same, and I'll soften it with just water. Let's paint it. I'm not going to do all the details in this one, but as you can see, you have an edge here. And if you think it's too light, you can go back and add more red to it, and that way you'll have it. Again, here, for example, this is overlapping, so you can add more red here. Just think in terms of light and dark, and you don't have to be very precise with what color to use. And you can lift it if it runs back to soften the edge. Again, with clean water, you can spread it a little bit. And if you think this is getting lighter, like I can see in mine, you can go back and reinforce this again. And then the same concept with the veins. Here. For this you have to be careful. There should be some space that is yellow and light compared to this shadow here. So you can just lift it back if it runs like mine did, and she'll be good. For this one, I'm just putting some veins, some darker color here. Almost it. You have to make the petal separations like we did here, on all the edges, even here, everywhere, and you'll have it. And if you lose some veins like we did here, you can always go and reinforce them with a thin brush. I think this is too thick, what I'm using here, but with a thin brush you can do that. This is also not a problem if the lines get too thick. And you can make them thin, whichever needed. Like so. It will always be fixed, so don't worry. If nothing works, just make it plain and do the petals later.